kicking it, you know what I'm saying? Hi, Daisy. It's all right now, hon. Dave got the AC on. Dave got the AC on. Come up here. It's cool now, hon. Daisy hates the sun. Hey, Letha, how you doing? Hey, how's your health doing? I'm gonna be kicking it today, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hot today. It's already 76. Poor kid's school bus broke down. I'll tell you, the friendliness of people down here is unbelievable. Such a noticeable difference. Like this school bus just broke down. Whole bus full of kids are such nice kids. In Michigan, you need to be in Ann Arbor or Grosse Pointe or something. Not here. Nice. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, like, do they got a handle on that or what? Somebody told me about that the other day. Do they got a handle on it? You need anything? I'm gonna be getting up there one of these days. As soon as I get a little more caught up, and I'm gonna come up there and do some interviews. Hey, Aletha, you know, Simka's husband died. Did you know that? No, I believe that. I really do truly believe that. Yeah, I just found out yesterday. Frederick texted me. Yeah. It costs $80 to fill this thing up. I never let it run down that low before. When this baby tells you you're getting low, you better pay attention. Hey, sunny days. Oh, sorry about that, Aletha. Now, are you getting some kind of treatment now? Hey, Troubles, how you doing? Yeah, I'm just partying down the highway. Just be kicking it. Those kids' school bus broke down. Daisy hates the hot weather, hates the sun. She's down on the floor. Because when I got gas, I had to turn it off. You wouldn't believe the extent she goes through to get out of the sun. She's still down there. Yeah, I'd be kicking it. I slept with the windows open last night. It's perfect. There were 2 other buses that broke down at that gas station yesterday. Isn't that weird? Oh, okay. School starts back. What were they on spring break? Reduction. What is that for exactly? Yeah, that's the same thing I thought. Maintenance was iffy. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought too. Oh, okay. I remember reading a thing not too long ago that some school systems were leasing buses. And I thought that when you did that somebody else did the maintenance, but maybe not. Look at this dumbass this brakes on. What a fucking idiot. I mean, that is just basic driver's ed. Oh, really? Oh. Have you tried Humira or Enbrel for your rheumatoid arthritis? Humira or Enbrel? Oh, okay. How long ago were you diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis? Yeah, I know it. Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. I like this truck. I put 3,000 miles on it. It's good. I mean, the gas mileage isn't good, but it's the trade-off's worth it. I like it. It's like smooth, like an old Lincoln Continental days. Even going down the dirt road, it's like 1,000 times better. I didn't like that Toyota. I got my money's worth out of it, but it's front-wheel drive, which I hate. And it was real short coupled, even though it's a van. If you look at one of those Toyota Siennas parked close to something else, it's like small. They call it a van, and it is a van, but it's a small van. It's way smaller than like this pickup. And it's short coupled, so if you just could, and with front wheel drive, you just touch that front wheel and it'd be like off on the side of the road. I mean, you couldn't really take your eyes off the road very long, which I do all the time. So I was glad, and it had a huge windshield with a big like 45-degree angle, and just tons of sun to get in there all day long. And I thought it was a shit design, to tell you the truth. It took 2 hours to change the light bulbs and the license plate lights that had burned out. You got to pull the engine to get the last 3 plugs. I mean, just stuff like that. They can cram it. You couldn't give me one of those things again. They're great when they're running, but for what they get for them, there's no room in them at all. Yeah, town car, that was a way to go. There's one that drives around here I see occasionally. There's another one. Where's another one? It was up in West Branch. I saw one too. Really good shape. Just a big old boat. It seems like I'd have had to live 200 years old to like realize the change that I've witnessed. Now everything's over gas. I can remember paying 17 cents a gallon for gas. We would go up and fill up our 5-gallon tanks for our boat motors. I'm talking like an old guy now. Hey Mary, how you doing? How's it looking up there today? What's the weather report? Yeah, getting old sucks. Oh, good for you. Take some videos. Where is that area you're going? Where's that? What's the closest biggest city? Yeah, party. Yeah, 84 here today. I wouldn't care if I ever saw another 80-degree day. I wouldn't have the air conditioning on. I'd rather have the windows open, but Daisy didn't like it. I think I'm gonna get a lunch. I'm gonna get a coffee and a lunch. Out near Augusta, it's just crazy. It's like 54 miles. It's good food, something different. I like driving anyway. It's too hot to do anything outside. I mean, I got every excuse in the world. Have a good day, Sonny. Oh, you got to cook lunch? All right. Hope you have something good. Party on. Georgia. Georgia, you guys got a tire getting ready to come off. Recap. Yeah, I've been down here in Georgia for a year. Yeah, it was really beautiful. I've been down here a year. A year next month, actually. No, I believe it. That was an exceptional view. It's really good. If you'd have had a GoPro, you could have got it all on video. Hey, Debbie and Dave. Yeah, it's crazy. It's cool. Yeah, I still got a place up there, but I'm gonna go up there and clean it out and sell it about any day now. Hey, Dolly, how you doing? You just got to party all night. Pretty good, yeah. Just down here taking it easy, partying. Yeah, it is gonna get hot. Yeah, I don't really like the hot weather that much. But it was nice sleeping with the windows open last night. Yeah, have a good day, Ken. How's everything going over there in Windsor? Not bad or what? Oh, is it really? You know, it's so much bullshit to get over to Windsor now from the United States. I mean, I don't know. That's my info's a year old. I know right before I left Michigan, I was up in the UP, Sault Ste. Marie, and they were saying it cost like $60, and you had to make an appointment, and you could only get a certain kind of COVID test, and it was just a pain in the ass. And she was telling me about all the people that just don't do it anymore. It must have absolutely killed the business around some of those Canadian towns. Oh, good for you, Orlando. I lived down there for a while. That'd be a good time. Oh, really, Ken? That's good. No kidding. I mean, you'd think the line would be backed up forever if they did. I can remember going over there as a kid with my dad, and there was a place you could buy lady fingers fireworks, and I was always worried he was going to get, caught bringing them over. I was always like super nervous. Oh, you have a good time down there. Yeah, good. Did you get a direct flight, or you got to stop over in Atlanta? Oh, good for you. Oh, that's cool. You have a good time, Dolly. Bring me back a mermaid. – Another idiot doesn't know how to get on an expressway. Unbelievable. Yeah, Mackinac Island's nice. It's getting too crowded for me. I bet I flew 300 people up to Mackinac Island, dropped them off Man Arbor. Oh, that's all right. French fries and fish sticks, good. That'd be a good dinner. It's not often you get to eat the fins and the eyeballs all at once, ground up with spices. We just turned the deep freeze mode on. Daisy's down there panting. All right, have a good day, Dolly. Have fun down there. Has anybody been, probably not, but there maybe Tribbles does, but has anybody been following that Nathan Millard case? That Covington, Georgia businessman that came up missing, they found dead in Baton Rouge. You know, I don't know that family, but I sure feel sorry for that widow. My God, man, talk about your life getting turned upside down. Tribbles, have you been following that Nathan Millard case? Millard, that guy from Covington? Mine's not frozen. Is your guys' screen frozen? Yeah, you wouldn't, not being a bit. It's a guy that I followed it from the beginning. Guy goes down there, second marriage, 3 kids of his own, 2 stepkids. Or no, 2 kids he had with his new wife. They lived over in Covington. I go there a lot. That's just east of Madison. And I couldn't find this guy. He was a construction project supervisor, and he was going down there to look over a job site. and they had went to an LSU basketball game the night before, and he never showed up to look at the job site the next day. So the customer went back to the hotel, and they said, we haven't seen him. And long story short, they found him wrapped up in saran wrap in a carpet about 10 days later. It's like, what? And they said there was no foul play. And then slowly but surely they ended up getting video of him walking with like a known drug dealer. And bottom line is they finally figured out that he got drunk. Supposedly he was asked to leave a couple bars after he had went out and had a few drinks with the customer. And he met some guy, and they got him on video walking with a guy, and he was asking for prostitutes and looking for drugs because he wanted to feel better. And pretty soon his debit card was being used. They found his cell phone laying on the sidewalk, and you knew it was not going to be a good ending. And then that's when they ended up finding the body. Well, as it turns out, the guy that sold him the drugs, those are the drugs that he overdosed with. And the guy, this is the way the story is now, wrapped him up in a carpet and then dumped his body. Then an reward came out, to find his body, and he wrapped him up again and moved him. And the guy's been charged with, criminal dumping of a dead body and not reporting it or something like that. Not murder, because it looks like he OD'd on fentanyl, but when you at least from the appearance in the newscasts, here you got a lady gets remarried, marries this guy. They have 2 kids on their own, and they're freaking out. Like, and you can imagine 10 days must seem like it's never going to end when you're trying to figure out, where in the hell is this guy? Well, now it's coming out that he had drug problems before, but here this guy goes down there and ends up getting drunk and ended up finding a drug dealer, buy some fentanyl, ODs. Now he's gone. They got to mess around with all that bullshit getting the body back, and you probably got mixed feelings. It's like, well, my husband's gone. I miss him, but no, I don't miss him, the dirty rotten son of a bitch. He's down there doing fentanyl with 2 hookers, and now I'm a widow. I don't think she worked. Financially, that's going to be a big enough hit. But she seemed like a nice lady. You never know, right? But I feel bad for her. It's just a lady, grieving, looking for her husband 3 weeks ago. And now look. No, it's not. He wasn't responsible for the guy's death. An overdose of fentanyl was. He's only being charged with dumping a dead body. But I just feel bad for the lady. You just never know. And here my wife was mad at me for watching Pornhub. There's no justice in the world. I just can't imagine the shock this poor lady must be going through. It'd be like my wife going off to a yarn convention. It's like you're keeping in touch. How you doing? Buying lots of yarn. Great. Have down there with my girlfriends. Then you hear that the bar closed, and all of a sudden they couldn't find Sherry. It's like, well, where'd she go? Phone's not answered. Goes right into voicemail. Nobody knows where she's at. You file a police report, and then 10 days later, they find her body, and you find out she was down there partying with a bunch of black when you thought she was just down there having a good time buying yarn. You didn't mind paying the tickets, sending her off, having a good time with her girlfriends. And then you find out you get a completely different story on what really happened. So you got these mixed feelings of, God, I didn't deserve that, to, oh shit, now what? They do that some places, but that's spotty on conviction rates on that. He didn't hold a gun to the guy's head and say, take this fentanyl. They do that places, but it's iffy as far as the success on prosecution. Everybody blames it on the drug dealer. My opinion, it's not the drug dealer's fault. I think it's separate issues. When you're taking unprescribed drugs in unknown amounts, unaware of their potency, that's on you. That's not on the person that sold it to you. And then it depends where you're at, too. If you're in Bloomfield Hills or you're in Buckhead, they're going to be all over somebody selling you drugs that killed you. But even you look at Seymour Hoffman and some of those guys, Tom Petty, Prince, I don't think they went after anybody else. I mean, as a defense, I think you could argue pretty successfully that, yeah, I sold them drugs, but I didn't know what was in it. I'm not a pharmacist. You got to accept your own responsibility for your indiscretions, not blaming on other people. That'd be like blaming the motorcycle owner when your daughter got killed for taking a motorcycle ride. Even if the accident wasn't his fault. Come on, you stupid asses. Why are these people doing this? There's one guy pulled over and everybody's stopping. Yeah, I've seen it happen places, but it's always sketchy. And it's also why this guy isn't being charged with it. He's just being charged for dumping a dead body, dead corpse or something like that. Even though it looks like they've established that he sold the drugs. But I mean, wouldn't you agree? That's the way I look at it. That nobody forced this guy to. The drug dealer didn't tell him you got to swallow these pills. I mean, you could probably sue the drug dealer for quality control, get a civil judgment. I don't think he'd be too collectible. Well, I think, when they were partying, it sounds like they were partying at a house this guy may have owned. And, you're sitting there partying, and you got this stupid white guy from the suburbs thinking he's cool, and tapping his foot to rap, and just thinking he's one of the brothers. And all of a sudden he's dead. And he's in your house. Now what? The fuck you gonna do? Just prop him up in the chair and wait for Halloween to show up? Hell no, you gotta get him the fuck out of there. You got other people coming over. You don't have a trash bag big enough, so you find an old remnant. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I'm not agreeing with it's the right thing to do. I guess you've never had a dead body in your living room, Tribbles. You've got to look at all sides of the crime. Now, there's one of these old prostitutes coming out of the woodwork that's saying that the drug dealer gave him an intentional dose of too much fentanyl so he could rob him. Maybe that's true. I mean, all things are possible. But I just know this, old Nathan Millard, He wasn't quite the family man they thought he was. I wish Paul Winfield was alive to do a City Confidential. They showed pictures up next to a Christmas tree. Well, old Nathan had a side of him that he kept pretty damn secret. And he's dead now. Now, you never know what's going on in somebody's mind. Now, I explained to you how I perceived everything with the widow's accounts and how upset she was. I could be totally wrong. She could have been the biggest nagging bitch in the world. And old Nathan figured out after a couple kids with her how bad he fucked up. He didn't like his job. He didn't like the customer. He was going to look at the job site the next day, and he was sitting there and he got drunk. You know, alcohol and drugs affect people different ways. Some people want to fight. Some people fall in love. It's a whole variety of behaviors that can elicit. Maybe Nathan was down there and his wife had called him for the 58th fucking time. And he's thinking these two kids that don't give him any respect. He doesn't really care for her anymore, but he's in too deep. His client's bossing him around. He thought, you know what, I'm just tired of living. I'm going to go look for some drugs. So in a fucked up, weird way, now I'm not saying this happened, but it's possible Nathan accomplished his goal. He could have said, the guy could have said, I got some fentanyl here. This is enough to kill you. And Nathan said, I'll take 2. Give me both of them. And the guy said, okay. So he's thinking, well, I'll get your debit card and your watch and your cell phone. Okay, here's 2. Both benefited. You know, in a diabolical way. But hey, human behavior, you gotta quit cookie cuttering this bullshit, painting a picture that you like. Reality is more serious face than this bullshit the media portrayed. This widow could be saying, God, I hope nobody finds out what a nagging bitch I was. Nathan was just looking for an escape. You never know. Well, I think it'd be a good Dateline. I'd watch it. I watch those Datelines all the time. This Murdoch, you know, they had a auction. You know, Marty has a place not far from Murdoch's in Hilton Head. And they had an auction last night of all Murdoch shit. And he was going to go to it, but he thought it'd be just too much of a circus. So you just, truth stranger, they need Private Detective Tom Reed on it. The fucking drugs, man, I'll tell you. You know, I've mentioned this. I really had a genuine interest. I still do in everything. Cattle, breeders, prostitutes, drugs, alcoholism, any human behavior. I'm interested in interviewing someone. I'd really like to get a candid reply to how they got where they're at and why they can't get out. But one thing I've learned, other than just being interested in the people that I interviewed, and I knew this already, but not to this detail, and that's how bad drugs are. They really fucking wreak havoc on a society. That's part of the reason the United States is in this shitbag right now. Fucking drugs. They're wrecking these cities. This is one I'm going to right now. Augusta, Detroit. You could say, well, what do you mean the drugs are wrecking the city? It's the people that are taking the drugs. That's true. But if there were less of them around, you'd have less of these problems, and it just wrecks lives. All to escape your demons and your blackness, darkness. Black Lives Matter. I'm having a flow of consciousness right now. Your life's so miserable that you're willing to take a chance on dying with these drugs that can kill you. It's fucking nuts. Look at old Nathan. There was a time when old Nathan was walking down the aisle with his second wife. Big smile on his face. He thought he'd finally met the one. Another illusion crushed. Once the smoke had cleared and his wife put on another 100 pounds, these kids didn't get many respect, and he was forced to pay for all their bills and raise them for another 15 years old. Nathan, he knew he was fucked, but in a different kind of way. He thought he'd learned something from his first divorce with his other 3 kids, but he didn't. He was right back in the boiling water again. He can't quite figure out it happened. Human behavior. It's just like birds flying south in the winter. You just do this shit and you don't really know why. Like me, I just passed 100 restaurants to go to this one. Doesn't make any sense. But it does, because they're homemade gyros. That's how you have to have a flow of consciousness. Know when to fold them, as old Kenny Rogers said. Old Kenny knew when to fold them. He had a good life. Kenny wanted to keep the good times going too, which is why he looked like he should have been in a wax museum up until the day he died. He wanted to be the Kenny Rogers that was knocking out ass, making $4 or $5 million a year, just fucking around. And the only way to do that was to try to look like he did when it started. So he went from one plastic surgeon to another. Mickey Rourke. Look at Madonna's looking like a wax doll now. She still wants to be, I never really thought she was attractive. She still wants to be that sexy, bubbly, sexually free spirit. It's just, that started fading off. All of a sudden the bag boy wasn't flirting with her anymore. No one was asking her for her number when she was pumping gas. And she thought, man, this sucks. Nobody wants me anymore. So she went and got some plastic surgery. I mean, she's barely recognizable. This is it, man. Yeah, sympathetic to every situation. I mean, in a way I feel, but you know, it's this false carrot that everybody hangs out there is the one that gets me, because I think old Nathan is a prime example of busting through that glass ceiling and reality. And this is the only way it comes to people's attention is, and I wouldn't even call this tragic. Nathan had about 20 chances to stop this whole thing from happening. But that behavior drove him to seek pleasure. He said he wanted some hookers and he wanted to feel better. Well, you gotta admit, that's a start. He could have had a prudish old right-wing Bible-toting Southern gal who thought blowjobs were dirty and he couldn't take it anymore. And he knew that wasn't going to be the case with a couple of hookers. Like, blowjobs, no problem. Coming right up. And you know, the hookers are from Georgia. I said, you got to be kidding me. Hookers from Georgia? Yeah, there. Look it up on the news. Both hookers are from Georgia. I bet they're transplants. Hey, you gotta see through the bullshit on this. You know? Old Nathan could have just watched Pornhub. I wish I could have got a hold of Nathan before he went out in that crazy wild spree. I said, look, Nathan, don't do it. Those are people who are bad company. They're not good for you. Just get some dragon's milk and turn on Pornhub. It's got everything you need on there. And you're going to feel good too, which is what you're after, right? You don't need to tell your wife. I had an old Jewish lady tell me one time that horror houses saved more marriages than they ever broke up. But I was young at the time and that didn't make any sense. And now as I'm older, that's her words of wisdom. That ought to be etched in stone someplace with a light shining on it when the sun goes down. You're thinking, horror houses saved more marriages than they broke up. What are you talking about? Yeah, I know now. Anybody over the age 50 that's a male knows it's the truth. Dragon's milk. Bullets flying. Twice. Snow geese. Hey Debbie, you think that ice is going to be bullshit this year in Taos? It's just a bunch of ice cubes floating around, no big deal. Because even though it won't be good for you, it'll be good for me. I won't think I'm missing out on something really great. Daisy's got to be a solid icicle down there now. I think this is the coldest air conditioning I've ever had in a car. I'm not shitting you. There's the Indian. I could get an Indian food, but I'm starting to like this Greek better lately. Just puts a smile on my face. And it reminds me what Greektown was like before it went to hell. You get murdered down in Greektown, Detroit. Plus Golden Fleece, which is always kind of a dump. That's a shell of itself, just like everywhere else. They don't give you the hot sauce with the combination plate anymore. Well, I've accomplished my one major task today, and that is to find a lunch. I'm in Augusta right now. Yeah, Greek food again. Yeah. Today I'm going to get a gyro, hummus, and a water. Oh, okay, Debbie. I like this waitress in here too. I think she's the owner. She's Turkish. No fucking around. Very polite. No chit chat bullshit. My kind of waitress. I give her a bonus for just not engaging me in mindless, stupid banter. Doesn't ask me where I'm from. I love this lady. So I'm gonna go in here and tear up another gyro. Don't worry, I will video it. Just don't get nervous about that. And then I'll be hitting the road back. You guys party on. Okay, how many miles was it here? It was 58 miles. No, 49 miles. That's not bad. You guys peace out. Rock on. Look up Nathan Millard. It's an interesting story. See you, Ray. Rock on, Debbie and Dave. See you, Troubles.